and welcome. You've heard a lot of people talking about the problems of school admission, but on agenda today, you'll heard stories of it which you wouldn't have heard before. Stories of impossible education, and that's of people with children with special needs. On agenda, we have various people, various parents whose children have been completely left out of the education system. And what we'll try and do is to get you those stories and ask what can be done to fix this. First, a look at some of those people.
No school has given in writing why they are denying admission. Inclusion is not a place for children of whatever be the skill set of a child. Why can we not recognize the fact that within her, is a life wanting to live? One of the principals of a neighborhood school actually said, we are a new school, we are opening. We do not want other parents to think we are a special school.
Under the Right to Education Act, no school, private or government, can turn down any student on the basis of disability. In 2005, the government had promised to make all schools disabled friendly by 2020. But what activists are asking is what is stopping the government from de-recognizing schools that are openly flouting the laws?
How is it that the government has not done enough vis-a-vis their own systems? And my favorite example is that of Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangatans.
But severe cases cannot really be coped at school levels because the teachers are not qualified since it's not a special school.
So to discuss this, we have some parents and our panelists who will show us the way. We have Dipali DeMello, whose son has not been going to school since earlier this year. We have Dr. Williams, he's the principal of Mount Carmel School, a mainstream school, and he'll tell us why they haven't been able to admit other special children. We have Mary Barua, activist, head of Action for Autism, who'll tell us what's the way out. And also, we have over here Ruchika Sethi, a parent of a little girl who hasn't been going to school at all. And we have also with us Munami Basu, who works with Kamala Nehru and who also helps run an NGO for special children. So first of all, I want to start with Ruchika, your story. Your daughter, she's 12 years old. Why haven't you been able to manage a school for her?
We shifted from Noida, and we approached all the mainstream schools because she was going to a mainstream school. She was in a nursery class, and I was her communication partner with her in the class. And it was very clear to us that we want schooling more for her emotional and social growth. And we could always add on to her cognitive learning through individual therapy sessions, learning sessions. But all the schools we approached denied us. The reasons cited were there is a 9 to 10 year waiting, one particular school said. Another school said that, we just do not have the wherewithal to handle a child who's non-verbal.
Yes.
We don't have trained people. So really, this is what we have to offer.
So for the last 4 years, your daughter hasn't gone to school?
Last 4 years, my daughter has not gone to school. We even approached the neighborhood schools, and we said just allow us 1 hour of interaction. And even there, it was denied because she wasn't considered, the right type of a profile of a person for an upcoming school or a new school. That's a very good question. I have taken her to a special school. When we know that Manavi's holistic development depends a lot on a peer group interaction. Each child is faced with a disability of some form where it becomes a barrier.
Okay.
And the child herself is fighting a lot. Now, all her therapy sessions happen one-to-one, all her learnings happen one-to-one.
But you want that normal...
But we want her to be given an opportunity to at least realize her potential. Who are we to say that you cannot be schooled?
Okay, so that's an interesting point. In fact, the right to education, we'll talk about that a little later when we speak to Mary Barua. But Dipali, first of all, your story. Your son, he's 17. And what's amazing, what I found was, of course, the good news is what I want to tell our audience members is that Dipali's son has just given an exam to get into class 11 of a regular school, and that's what we're hoping, fingers crossed for it to work out. But Dipali, I want you to now tell people at home the problems that you've had, how your son was basically failed twice in class 10, and then when he went to the board, they figured out that no, actually he'd passed. It's just that they, for whatever reason, they didn't want him to go forward.
Well, he was failed twice in class 9.
Yes.
Initially, there was, in the beginning when he went to the mainstream school, things were okay. He was mainstreamed, he was integrated, good things were happening. Somewhere down the line, I don't know what went wrong. And suddenly he was, in about grade 7 or grade 8, they started telling us, oh, he won't be able to continue, he will not be able to complete his grade 10, his ICSC, and, you need to take him out and put him in the NIOS.
You got the feeling that they didn't want him?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't want to continue, and we were told, when I approached them, they said, well, we keep such children till grade 8 because of the RT, and then we wean them out into the NIOS. We fought on and we just kept saying, he's come this far till grade 8 and he doesn't have as many issues as maybe others do, or I don't think he needs to be out of the mainstream. He needs to be integrated. As Ruchika said, the environment, the peer group, all that makes all the difference for the child. And he benefited. He was very happy in the school. Why should I pull him out of a happy environment? We soldiered on. The 2 failures in grade 9 happened. First time we thought it was okay, maybe he needs another year to cope with it. Second time round, it just didn't sound right. So we wrote to the council, and about 4 or 5 days after we wrote to them, we were called back, and he was admitted in grade 10.
Fantastic. And tell me, you, Dipali, a mother knows best, I think. You really think that your son will be fine in a mainstream school. You want that for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's very happy and he's very
So he's autistic, but you think that he's going to be fine.
Absolutely.
And obviously by passing that exam, he's shown that he can be fine.
Yes.
So here's where our talking point really comes in. We've heard these 2 heartbreaking stories. Any mother, any parent would have nightmares about that. So we want to ask, is the problem with the schools which are refusing to, despite the right to education, who are refusing to take special children in? Or is there a problem with the system? Mary Barua, where does the problem lie?
It's a pretty complex situation, and I would say it's a problem with the entire system because, our nation guarantees universal primary education to every individual between the ages of 6 to 14. We have the Right to Education Act that promises free and compulsory education to every individual, including individuals with disabilities. We have ratified the UNCRPD that again ensures inclusive education. The thing is that if a parent and the child wants to be an inclusive setup, there is no way, legally or any other way, that you can keep the child out, right? So the thing is that when the nation makes these promises, it must take the steps to ensure that those promises can be kept. And therefore...
And is this like an impossible promise?
No, it is not. See, the thing is that we don't go about it the right way. One of the things that often is discussed that, train people in all disabilities who will help out in schools.
Yeah.
Now that cannot happen. One person cannot be trained in all disabilities.
Yeah.
However, if the entire B.Ed training or the teacher training that we have for primary school and older kids, etc., incorporated an understanding of diversity,
then it would.
yes.
Okay.